Alright gamers, really quick daily dose today. I just wanted to talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider. I know we've talked about that a lot on this channel. Everybody's talking about this with the exclusivity that's going around with Xbox One, and I don't know. It's going to be a phenomenal game, and it's getting a lot of buzz right now, a lot of attention, and it should be, because it's a very adored franchise, and a lot of people are really enjoying what they're doing with the Lara Croft character. Now, I've been gaming for a long time, and there's one thing that I've always wanted to see just eliminated from gaming altogether, because I think it totally pulls you out of the experience, and that is loading times. There's nothing worse than playing a game and hitting that loading screen. Now, some loading screens look better than others, right? They actually kind of play into the atmosphere of the game, you know, but most of them don't. Most of them just like a JPEG image and a loading bar at the bottom, and it takes forever, especially in the old days. You know, they've obviously gotten quicker now, but back in the day, I mean, sometimes you'd be waiting 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and that still happens today too, now that I'm thinking about it. On some games, it depends on how big the game is. But I've always wanted to see that just be gone from games. Like I said, it just pulls you, it snatches you right out of the immersion of the experience. So I was reading this article the other day, and it was talking about how Rise of the Tomb Raider was going to be 3 times larger than the previous Tomb Raider. And in my mind, I was like, oh man, they done fell into the same trap that all these other developers fall into. They're going to go for bigger, right? But they're going to trade off for things like loading times and bugs and glitches, because, you know, the bigger these games get, it's harder to test everything. And I was a little bit bummed out, but I kept reading on, and they assured us that, hey, look, it's going to be bigger, but we are still going to be promising that same level of of immersion that we gave you in the previous Tomb Raider. If you guys remember, the previous Tomb Raider didn't really have any loading screens. It had a little bit of downtime when you like started the game, and maybe if you died and you had a checkpoint or something like that. But when you went from one area to the next, it was fairly seamless. And I didn't even realize this, but doing some more research, I found out that those points in the game, if you guys remember, there were certain times where you would be inside of an environment, be inside of an area, you know, venturing around, and then you might have to go to this bottleneck in the environment where you might have to like slide through cracks in the wall or something like that, and it took a couple of seconds. I didn't know this, and some of you guys may. I didn't realize that that's how they're cheating the system. That's how they're avoiding the loading times, because by slowing you down on purpose, right, and having you crawl through that space and limiting your view of the map that's coming up next, the processes of the computer, I guess, if you will, I'm not a tech guy, but it's basically building the map while it's slowing you down. And I think that's kind of cool, man, because when you look at most games, you walk up to a door, you open it, black screen, loading, right? And then when you come out of that loading screen, you're in the new area. But what was happening during that loading screen is it was building the area for you. Like the game was processing all the information in the code and building your next area. And like I said, when they purposefully slow you down and limit your field of view and make you go slow, that's actually how they're cheating the system and allowing for the game to build the next map right before your eyes. To you, it seems seamless, but to them, there's a lot of back-end stuff going on, right? And they're basically cheating those loading times. And so that's what they're promising. No loading times in Rise of the Tomb Raider. They're going to find ways to cheat the system again and allow us to stay immersed in that experience as we play through the game.